Welcome to Synthplex 2022 podcast, and we are on our final day here on a Sunday. Nice afternoon, beautiful day here in Southern California in Burbank at the Marriott here. Give a shout out to them for providing their conference hall for our conference, Synthplex. And my name is Florentino Buenaventura, and I've been doing all the podcasts through this whole series, and we are down to possibly our last one. We'll see. I got to track down Robert Margoliff. He's a busy boy. So other than that, I am here with Sam Mims from Syntaur, and I really appreciate you joining us, Sam. Say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody, and it's great to be here, Florentino.
Well, thank you, man. And we got a nice little quiet place. Usually I'm doing these on the floor, which in your area it's not just impossible.
Yeah.
But because they've got all the energy going on over there. And if you don't know Sam, you need to know Sam, because this man is the mod and restoration engineer, also a phenomenal keyboard player. Just found out he was a keyboard player for Richard Elliott and probably many other ones. And we're going to learn a little bit more about Sam today, and I'm going to have him tell his story and talk about his company and his mods. I got a chance to look at a Juno 106, which I had back in the day, and some of the incredible developments he's done on that. So Sam, tell us a little bit about how you got into this part of the business, because obviously you're a player, but did you also study as an engineer? Tell us a bit about that.
No, I've always wanted to know a lot more about electronics than I do know, and I've just picked up what I can here and there. But the main thing I've picked up is good employees, good people that really know what they're doing as far as that. And my position with Syntaur as the owner is kind of I steer the ship and I put the right people together with the right projects. And I guess I know enough about the whole ball of wax there that I can sort of come up with ideas and say, it would be really cool if we did this. And I know we can, so figure out how to do it. And yeah, so it's fun. Like the Juno 106 you're talking about, we turned it into a Juno 107, and because it's one better.
Yeah.
And we did a few easy things like make an audio input that routes things through the beautiful Roland chorus effect. But the main thing we did was we built a circuit board that cycles through the programs in any given bank, the 8 programs. And so you can cycle through those very quickly, and it's like wave sequencing, and you come up with some really cool rhythmic things and unexpected things.
Well, that is so awesome. Yeah, I mean, I love the sound and the fact that it went through those patches in almost like a arpeggio type of thing. It was really, I don't want to say arpeggio because that's just different notes that are obviously played in some type of rhythmic form. This was rhythmic, but it was different tones, which changed the whole dynamic. So that was super cool.
Yeah, you can hold down a chord and cycle through 8 programs over and over and over, and so you can play whatever notes you want. It plays those notes, but you get the rhythmic effect in there as well. And
now, obviously, that was one of the units. Tell us a bit more about some of the keyboards that you've either modded or that you've repaired, and some of the things that and a little bit more about what kind of the scope and vision of Syntaur.
Okay. Well, Syntaur is basically a parts company. We sell repair parts for synthesizers, and we're probably by a large stretch the biggest place that does that. We have over 13,000 different parts that we carry for over 2,500 different keyboard models.
For some reason, I just imagined just like a few, but 13.
Yeah, it's amazing how it grows.
13,000,
13,000, yeah. And 2,500 different keyboard models. I mean, that's what astounds me.
How do you keep up with all that? Now
it's a job. My wife does a lot of that legwork.
Oh wow!
So.
I cannot imagine the filing system. Yeah. She must be a whiz at Excel.
Well, we've developed our own in-house software that does all this, and our website runs off of there, and it does our accounting and all that all together. So it's really handy.
You get a lot of DIY guys that are actually building their own. Like versions of iconic synthesizers?
It's hard to say because I don't, in my capacity there, interact that much one-on-one with the customers.
Yeah.
But certainly for the most part, it's people that have broken a key or that have lost a knob or their end cap got broken and they need to replace it.
Wow.
And the unique thing probably about our company is that we started out with used parts. We started out disassembling keyboards and scavenging them for the parts that were good.
Yeah.
And so today, if you need an end cap for a D50 and you call Roland, they're not going to have it, but they might refer you to us because we might well have it.
You know, there's been so many times. I wish I would have known about you before this show, because there's been so many times with you know, I'm not a keyboard player. I'm actually a bass player, but I've had and owned keyboards going all the way back in the day. But there's been times like I lost parts, and it would have been nice to know. So, folks, you guys, if you have a keyboard, 13,000 parts. Sam's
we're likely to have it.
More than likely has it. What about does that also include things like Fender Rhodes and some of the other?
Well, for Fender Rhodes and Whirlies, we started carrying some parts, but really Vintage Vibe up in New Jersey, they do it so well that we just refer people to them, and they're good guys.
Because I have pedals are always the challenge with that. I have a old Fender Rhodes 73 suitcase.
Nice.
We're trying to do business here, people. You're gonna have to put the podcast on hold. I need to get some parts. No, I'm just joking.
Syntaur.com.
Yeah, there you go. Syntaur. You beat me to the punch there. Yeah. So. With that said, do you find that a lot of major guys, or is it been the average club keyboard player that comes to you, or is it just a broad range of everybody?
Well, it really runs the gamut. When we exhibited at NAMM, Michael Boddicker came up, and I'd interviewed him for a magazine article years ago, so we'd met before, but. You bump into people like that, and it's like, wow, that's really cool.
You're trying to take my job, aren't you? No, that is.
And at this show, Jordan Rudess and Mike Dean we've run into, and all those kind of people. It's really fun to interact with them and sell them the parts they need. But it's the regular Joe that plays in the club, and a mic stand fell over and broke his D key, and he needs to replace that. That's our bread and butter.
Wow. Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Is there any keyboard that you see the most the biggest ask? People is it a D50 that you get most people coming to you about that, or are they just so broad it just doesn't matter? Or DX7?
DX7 certainly. We sell a lot of keys for that, and. Everyone always needs slider knobs for that, which we can't keep. We get a few now and then, but people fight over them when we do.
Yeah.
But it's such a broad gamut, and really, again, I'm just astounded with how many keyboard models are out there, and we try to keep up. And there's always new stuff coming out.
Yeah, there is such a ton. So, I don't want to put you on the spot, but as a keyboard player, what's your go-to? And I don't want you to alienate any of the other
this
keyboards.
It's really interesting that in our showroom, we restore vintage synths. And so our showroom is a mix of newer, Korg Mod Wave and whatever, and then Oberheim OBXA. And, we just have all kind of stuff that's always coming and going. And every now and then all of us there will kind of knock off and go into the showroom and just want to play something and jam a little bit. Everyone always goes to the Fender Rhodes if there's one there. The other thing that everyone goes to recently is the Korg Poly Ensemble S, and it's just a beautiful string machine, and it's got a slow sweeping phaser that's wonderful. And I think the things about those are they're so immediate. You walk in, you put your fingers on keys, and you play something, and there's no way to make it sound bad.
Yeah.
And they each have a unique sound. So, man, those are wonderful things. The Novation Summit is another one that's in our showroom now that every time someone plays that, I got to get up out of my chair and go see because it sounds so good.
So where's your showroom at? Because we gave the URL.
Okay. We're in New Braunfels, Texas, which is just between San Antonio and Austin.
I'm going to get on a bus and go there right now.
All right. Well,
it's a little bit of a trek from California, but...
we'll leave the lights on for you.
Yeah, I do love Texas. I haven't been to San Antonio, though. I've been everywhere else. Houston, Dallas, El Paso, Austin.
Yeah,
That's my last. That's my last. Last big city. There's tons of cities over there, right?
Well, we're about 40 minutes from Austin, and as you know, there's an incredible music scene there. So
yeah.
So
I went for from there. South by Southwest.
Okay,
a long while back, guys. So, So with that said, with your favorite keyboards, do you have a favorite keyboardist that you really love to hear play your gear?
Oh man, I got to tell you, when Jordan Rudess came and started playing some stuff, it was like notes aren't supposed to go that fast. And
I got a picture. I've got a picture of him at your booth, by the way. I'll give it to you.
Oh man, were the keys smoking? Because he's just amazing. So
he is, and the biggest sweetheart. He's just.
Yeah,
I love that guy.
He's a great guy.
He's always. And the cool thing is this: a cat of that caliber will come in for their whatever they're doing, and they'll be gone right after that because they got something else to do.
Right.
But
he's been around the whole 3 days.
Yeah, he's been engaging everybody, checking out the gear. I think he feels like this is home family because out in the rock and roll world, he's got guitar players and bass players. Who wants those guys? I'm a bass player. I play bass, but that's it's interesting. So yeah, he's definitely. Did you catch the Keith Emerson tribute?
Yes. Yeah.
So that was me. They're talking about actually taking that on the road. They did it as an actual celebration of his life.
Right.
And then they wanted to really bring that back together for Synthplex because it was, all the players are part of this wonderful community of players and community. We had KM Black, we had Rachel Flowers. Obviously,
she was ungodly.
Oh yeah.
Man,
she was it was incredible. So, it's been fun, guys, and that's the beauty part. There's support out there for you if you're a keyboard player. I want you guys to check out Syntaur.com, Syntaur.com. If you happen to be over in the neck of the woods of Houston, go check out the showroom and listen to all these beautiful synthesizers. Where can on the website? Obviously, they can get the 107. Is that what?
Well, that's just a one-off we did for exhibiting things.
Oh,
like this.
Okay. So they can't.
And we did that as part of our web series called Synth Wizards, which is like American Pickers, but for synthesizers. So
you know what? And we got stopped by Pedro Astucci about he recognized you from YouTube.
Yeah,
you're internet famous, man.
So many of the people at this show have come up and say, I love the Synth Wizard series, and it's just so gratifying.
I suck. I haven't seen it yet, but I will. I will check it out, man.
Well,
with that said, you got a booth. You got people that want to talk to you. Thank you for sparing a little time for us.
Oh, my pleasure.
This has been another Synthplex podcast with Sam Mims from Syntaur. This is Florentino Buenaventura. We've got more podcasts coming out, so stay tuned.
Sounds great. Thank you, Florentino.
Thank you.